good morning, and welcome to the How Can I Support My Child series. Discipline is not an emergency, it is not a show, and it is not a revenge. If discipline does not make the person that is being disciplined a better person and doesn't teach them anything, then discipline hasn't happened. My name is Maribel Chima, and I'm the founder of the Parenting Through Mentorship Academy and PTM Resources. And I am the proud matron of the Mastermind Circle, a peer mentorship and accountability group that we run for young people and preteens. Your school age child, your preteen. This is an amazing community and program for young people. We want to lead more young people to understand the role that they play in their own lives, and of course, to take the front stage, leading the life that they have been called to live. When children take baby steps, they hone their skills. When they take baby steps, they become better at what it is that they are doing. When they take baby steps, they begin to get expertise, right? They begin to build mastery, okay? And of course, this is how experts are born, from the practice and the daily, the consistency that is applied in doing whatever it is that they are learning to do. So we put the show together so we can teach and we can help parents on their parenting journey. We can share hacks and we can share tools and strategies with you that you can apply in your parenting journey to help that journey become better, easier, and of course, more intentional. All right. We have said over and over again that parenting is not one of the easiest tasks. Sorry about that. So we've said over and over again that parenting is not an easy feat. Parenting is not a walk in the park, but parenting can be done effectively, and of course, it can be done when the people involved, the parents involved, the people involved, the primary caregiver involved in the life of the child, decide to learn, and not just learn, but apply what it is that they are learning. It is only when knowledge and information is applied that it becomes wisdom. And this is what we do here. We come and we share strategies for you. We share strategies, we share tools, we share tips, we share hacks that parents can use and apply in their journey. And then when you start getting this knowledge, there will be a hunger within you for application. And that hunger leads you to a community. Hunger, that will lead you to systems that will hold your hands, systems that will support you, systems that will guide you to being the confident parent that your child deserves, the confident parent that you ought to be. If you're here and you are with me on YouTube, why don't you go ahead and subscribe if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel? And yep, if you are on Facebook, I'm sure you have a friend somewhere who needs to be here. You have a friend somewhere who needs to be a part of what it is that we do here. Why don't you go ahead and invite them so that they can be a part of this? If you are a parent and you have family, you have friends, you have a tribe, and the people in your family, the people in your tribe, the people that you know are not walking this journey with you, you will sabotage your efforts because your children will still share the same space. These people will still be a part of the lives of your children, especially if these people are the people in your circle. If they don't know the things that you know, you will struggle on this journey, because in parenting, it still takes a village to parent. You will still need the support of your family members, of your friends, and of the people in your circle. So learning and having them learn the same things that you're learning will give you that edge that you need, will give you that effective support that you need. So yes, you need to invite all your friends and all your family members and all the people in your tribe and in your circle to be a part of what we do here. And yes, 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 yes. If you do not have a parenting community, you don't have a community where you are sharing notes, where you are sharing experiences, and when you are learning from other people's experiences, then you need to get one today. We can recommend to you. I belong to an amazing community, and there are other communities out there, but I belong to an amazing one, and I would like to welcome you to the Inner Circle. It's an amazing program. Your children need to be plugged also in a program that can help them build a solid foundation. And this is where the Mastermind Circle comes in. Our peer mentorship and accountability group, where we work with these children. As I said earlier, we work with these children, we guide them, we support them. We, of course, offer them accountability, we offer them peer mentorship, and we offer them mentorship with me, the matron. We are doing amazing things in the Mastermind Circle. It's a 4-year program that we run for the most affordable rate that you can think of. All right, and we begin a new cohort in September. You want to get your child in the circle. Welcome again. Today, let's dive into how we can help our children embrace discipline. Okay, we don't want children fighting. We don't want children thinking that we do not like them, we do not love them, just because we insist that discipline is a thing. Now, let's start. Let me start by saying to you, dear parents, discipline is not punishment. Discipline is not punishment, and discipline is not that thing that we talk about all the time as African parents. You know how we say the African parent, the African mother, the African father. When we want to jest and we want to create humor, we carry, I have seen all kinds of, pictures, right? So there's this picture on social media, you see, someone with a batoning stick, right? And then you see one with slippers, different things, different objects basically that, are meant to use as correctional tools, or are meant to be used as discipline, tools. Basically, these are the objects that our parents used. All right, so this is us talking from how we were raised and all of that. We call them, brain setters and all of that. Now, if we come back and we look at really what discipline is, all right, discipline is not about those objects. Discipline is not about how hard you can strike or how much you can strike. All right. Discipline is about your structure. Discipline is about what you are teaching. Discipline is about your boundaries. Discipline is about what the child has that can help the child make informed decisions when the child has to, or when the child is presented with the opportunity to make a decision. When the child is presented with an event that requires that the child makes a decision, will your child be making an informed decision? When your child is presented with options, will your child be choosing the right option? When your child has options, left, right, and center, 20, 30 options, can you trust that your child will go with an effective or a well-informed, option? Will your child go with a well-informed option? Now, when we raise our children to the point that our children begin to make decisions or choices that are informed, when we raise our children to the point where our children are not afraid of missing out, when we raise our children to the point where our children are not easily influenced by negative influences, by virtue of the fact that they can make informed decisions based on the options that are placed before them, based on the opportunities that they have before them. Now, when we get children to that point where they stick to a goal, where they stick to their lane, where they stick to their direction, where they don't lose sight of their goals, then we say we have been able to discipline and we have been able to raise children who are disciplined. When we raise children who are conscious of time, when we raise children who are conscious of their abilities, when we raise children who are conscious of their purpose, when we raise children who are conscious of their destiny, then we say we have raised people who are disciplined. When we raise children who are skilled, when we raise children who become authorities in certain areas, okay, of their interests, then we say we have raised disciplined people. That is the reason why people would ask you, what is your discipline? What is your discipline? You are in school, you are in the university, you work in an establishment, and people see you and they ask you, what is your discipline? That connotes the fact that discipline is, what is it that you have what is it that you have gained so much knowledge and so much experience and expertise in? What is that area that you have become so disciplined that you have mastery in? So this is it. So discipline is raising children who are skilled. Discipline is not punishment. Discipline is not, what do you call it? Discipline is not punishment, and discipline is certainly not taking revenge. All right. Now, I want you to go through something before I, share. This is going to be a very short class. This class is going to be about 20 minutes today. All right. So before I share, some of the things that discipline or what we can do to discipline our children. All right, before I share what we can do to discipline our children, I want us to do a mental journey, right? Do a mental journey as a parent and ask yourself, the reason behind your choice that you make when you decide to discipline your child. Now, you come into the house and you have said that your children or your child should probably make a meal or clean somewhere or something like that. And then all of a sudden you come in and you find out that the child did not do it. Now, what would you do? If you're here, you want to share with us, that would be nice. Share with us, in the comment section and all of that. But we're going to look at, one or two scenarios of what it is that a typical parent would do. All right, give me a second, please. So we're going to look at one or two scenarios of what a typical parent would do in that situation, isn't it? All right, so number one is, you will get so upset, right? You will get so upset and you will begin to yell, and if the child is not careful, the child will even get smacked for not following instructions or for not being obedient. That's one. Number two, I've heard this one, right? I've heard this one. It happened to a lot of, people who grew in our generation. And I was in a school recently and people shared their experiences and they talked about how their parents will not say anything, or their parents will just act as if nothing is wrong. And the parents will wait for them when they've gone to sleep or something like that. While they are sleeping, they will just get, and that's it. The parents will come at them right in the middle of their sleep. Now, the other option is, you may want to have the child do what the child is supposed to do. Basically, the child gets, you were supposed to do this, you didn't do it, get right to it right away. You could get your child into that space. That's another way that you can react to this. Another parent may just go on and on and on and on, talk, berate the child, get angry, get upset, raise their voice, shout and scream and all of that. And then the parent will go into the kitchen and say, I don't blame you and all of that. The parent goes into the kitchen and the parent cooks the food and probably says, you will not eat or something like that. Now, these are all different reactions. Now, let's look at the feeling behind these reactions, all right? Let's look at the feelings behind this reaction, or the reason behind this reaction. Because when I work with children, I always say to them, for every feeling, for every reaction, always ask yourself, what is the reason behind it? Or for every choice that you make, always ask yourself, to what end? Now, for the parent who takes the cane and beats the child, to what end is it? All right? Most often, you need to inflict the child with so much pain that the child will know that you don't mess around with me. That could be one. For the parent who waits for the child to sleep and then comes at the child in the middle of the night, for that parent, it could be, here you don't do one, you have 1-1-0, and we do my own in the night. So the parent comes, it's a matter of revenge. It's a matter of bitterness. It's a matter of revenge. Is bitterness. So I need to meet you in your most vulnerable states, when you are sleeping and you are totally helpless. So right there, I don't care about what this will do to you psychologically. I don't care. When you are in your most vulnerable state, you know how it is that when you go to war, what an army will do to the next army when the soldiers are asleep. Then you come and then you attack them right in the middle of their sleep. That's what you are. That's who you are. That's how it is. You're fighting a battle with your child. So you need to come at the child in their most vulnerable states so that you can get the best out of your revenge. That is it. Let's look at it closely. If you do these things and this is not it for you, please share with me in the comment section. All right? For the parents who goes about talk, gets angry about it, upset, shout and scream about it. Now goes to the kitchen. You have said the child should actually cook. The child didn't cook, or you said the child should clean up. The child didn't clean up. Okay, you have gone. You now go. You take it. I don't blame you. It's because I asked you. Then you will go. You will do it, and then you will have a punishment because of this. You will not eat that food, and all of that. What have you done? This parent has gone ahead and done the job anyway. So for a child who doesn't want to do that thing, who has continuously told themselves, you see, this thing is not for me, I would just I would deal it down for you to come and do your thing yourself. And who knows, I might even eat bread before you come. And so when you say I will not eat, it's okay. I shall did not do the work. All right. So for this parent, what has happened is you have actually not taught the child anything, because last you ended up doing it yourself, isn't it? Now for the one who is going to say, something, you didn't do it then, I get to it right now. All right, you get to it right now, and basically, this is it, get to it right now, and all of that, and then you have conversation or whatever. Now this parent has just made use of natural consequences. It's okay now, you didn't do it at that time. So now, whether it's convenient for you, it's not convenient for you, that thing you said you will not do, you will do it anyway. Okay. So these are all scenarios of, how we can deal with a situation, right? We're trying to discipline our young children and our preteens. We're trying to help our children understand, accept, and embrace the discipline, right, that we put in our system, in a way that the discipline that we have does not destroy our children, but rather empowers our children. All right, so these are the scenarios and these are the things that we do. You can share with me if you have any other way that you will be responding to this as a parent. Now let's go straight into, what's the disciplines, some of the discipline and the effect of some of this discipline, all right, or what it is that we recommend. Now, for every time that you come to your child, so one, discipline as punishment. Now, when you punish your child for something that they have done by outrightly beating, hitting, and doing all of that, what you are doing is you are actually having the child go through pain as a way to see that what they have done is unacceptable. Now, what pain does to a child is it shuts their ability to learn. At the time that you are going through a pain, you are actually unable to reason or to learn. The experts actually say the part of the brain, the prefrontal cortex, actually shuts down. The part of the brain in the prefrontal cortex that is actually helping your child learn actually shuts down when your child is going through pain or shock or anything that can destroy the child. That part of the brain shuts down. So for every time that you are caning and beating and all of that, that's learning. The thing that you want that child to learn is actually not being learned. What you are doing is you are feeding your own ego. You are exerting your own power because you can. Now, if you want to see if this is what you are actually doing, put yourself in a situation where the person that did not do that thing that you have asked them to do is a person that you cannot inflict any pain on. I have worked in a school, an American curriculum school where the middle management, right, or the top management rather, not the owners. Now the top management was, was 80%. Top management mainly was Americans, basically. So of course they had their ways and they didn't understand the way that we choose, to punish children and all of that. So in that school, there was zero tolerance for anything physical. There was zero tolerance for anything aggressive. In fact, you can't even hold a child beyond this point. You can't hold a child here. You can't like hold a child and hold the child or direct or push the child to a location, a position where you want the child. All right. So you can only speak. Children are not goats. They are human beings. So it is believed that we can communicate with people and they would hear us. So if we can improve on our communication abilities, then we would not need to use anger and use aggression to get people to do the things that they ought to do. Now, this is the principle behind you being able to utilize other means to get your children to do the things that they should do without you, settling for aggression. Now, you are a teacher in that school. I know teachers that have been in that school for 10 years, for more than 10 years. I worked in that school for 5 years. And in those 5 years, in those 5 years, I never touched a finger on a child. I never used anything physical at all. Yet the children learned. At every point, you had about 20-25 children in a class. Yet 25 children from different backgrounds. Yes, Stephanie, they are not good. So 25 children from different backgrounds. And I'm talking about children of experts, children from different nations, children of politicians, now. Those ones that their fathers are available once in a long while. They live in a big house, mommy travels. Those ones that nannies, quote and unquote, in some cases, practically run the show. Those ones that can actually be unruly and get away with it from where they're coming from. Now, you are in a system where you have to work with this kind of children, and you get this kind of children to do the needful in that without having to use the violence of any form, because someone has forced you into that spot. I said for 5 years I was in that space, and the time I was doing this, I was not in this place where I am today. I had not learned emotional control. I had not learned regulation. I had not learned emotional intelligence. I was still yelling. I was still in that place where I believed that a brain reset is important once in a while. Now, I am not naturally, I'm not, an aggressive person. Naturally, I am not fast to use my fist. But I was in that place where I believed that it was a way forward. Do you understand? All right. So, but then again, I was triggered over and over and over again. Yet I couldn't. And I had colleagues who, of course, reset their children's brain every day in their homes. Yet they couldn't reset 1 out of 25 children's brain in their room. Yet they still led those children to learn. What do you think was happening? Simple. A lot of the times we come at our children because we feel we own them. We come at our children because we feel we can. We come at them because they are beneath. They are not above. They say if you want to see how a person truly is, check how they treat people who are under them, not the way they treat people who are of higher authority. Check how they treat those who are under them. That's when you will know the trueness of a person's, intentions, and how they react really to other human beings. And that's it. Brain reset with the fist. Do you understand? So that's it. So that is it. So when you come, and you are resetting with the cane, you are resetting with all of those things in your home, and then you come and you preach, the scripture, spare the rod, and all of that. When you check it, you realize a lot of the times your fuse are just really short when it has to do with your children. You don't give them any grace because they are your children. And it's not necessarily because you want them to turn out right. If it is because of that, you should accept it, that when your husband comes home and you are not doing the right thing, he should give you some slaps. After all, we are all about having people turn out right. We are all about having people become the best. So really, I'm sure those men who hit their women, it's because somewhere at the back of their mind, They need to slap you like you slap the children, so that you too, you will have sense. But then again, when we talk about it, the man and the woman, we say it's abuse. But when we talk about it with the children, we say it is necessary. So when you look at some of these things, you laugh at the hypocrisy of our principles, or the hypocrisy of the strategies that we choose to use in our parenting. So what I'm saying basically is, when it has to be pain that you are using to correct a child or to discipline a child, as we say, then learning is not happening. And we said at the beginning of this session that if the discipline method or whatever it is that you are doing with the child does not end up having the child learn, does not make the child a better person, there is no lesson learned, it doesn't make the child a better person, and doesn't make the child approach that thing in a better way in the future, and then it leaves the child in pain, then you have not exactly disciplined that child. You should read Coach Wendy's The Discipline That Works, okay? Go and read that book if you've never read a book on discipline. All right, so these are some of the issues that we need to look at. All right, so that's number one. Number two, if you are that parent that waits for your child to go to sleep, you are that parent that waits for your child to be in their most vulnerable state for you to attack the child. Inside you, go and check very well. There's bitterness resting in you. You have bitterness. You have revenge inside of you. Because who is this that ambushes a child? Come on now. Who is it that places ambush? Is it a rat? No, 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 no. If the child is a rat, why are you putting a trap so that the child will come and the trap will hold the leg? So now you can kill the trap. So that you can kill the rat better. Do you understand? All right. So no, if you have to do that, then there is something inside of you that seeks to take revenge. There is something inside of you. There is trauma within you that seeks, you cannot do me and go free. You know that thing, those people, if you do me, I will do back. That's it. That's what you are using in your parenting. When your child disobeys, you see this thing where you don't disobey me like this. Yeah. You have taken your own pound of flesh. I must take my own too. That's the reason why you would do that. That's the reason why you would treat a child like a criminal. You know how Jesus said, why are you coming at me with spears and all of these things to come and search for me? I was with you in the temple every day. I was there with you all the time. You could simply have walked, over to me. And why are you coming with all the spears and all the waiting? Are they run? So it's the same thing with your child. Why are you waiting for a child to sleep and all of that and go and attack at night? And we call this thing, we say is tough love. We say is, I don't know what it is, but no. Aggression and love do not go hand in hand. Aggression and love do not go hand in hand. All right? So that is it. Now, if you are a parent that gives that gives consequences, right? The one that a lot of times we preach in our homes, consequences like you don't do this, you get that, you don't do this, you get that. Now, why consequences are not wrong, okay? Why giving consequences or putting consequences are not wrong, okay? The way you go about those consequences are also very important. So what you want to do is, rather than come up with consequences when your children do something wrong, what you want to do is you want to sit down with them when nothing has happened. You want to preempt. You want to simulate. You want to simulate, the things that come up, in your parenting, or that comes up in your journey with your children. The things that come up every now and then. You want to simulate this thing and then have conversations with these things, about these things. And then in those conversations, you want to say, for instance, if this happens, okay, what consequence do you think is deserving? All right. So you want children to come up with their own consequences, but do not give a consequence, okay, without allowing the child go through a natural consequence. So for me, I would say the natural consequences actually supersedes the extra consequences that we give. So if the natural consequence is enough, then you may not need an extra consequence. But if you think that the natural consequence needs a little bit, or something more, then have that conversation with your child, agree, and let them pick those consequences. Now, when they pick those consequences, let those consequences be documented and put somewhere. I remember when our children were younger, we had consequences for, most of the things that come up a lot, and we had it on the fridge. So sometimes I would say to them, when they finish doing something, I would say to them, go check what your consequence should be. The child walks up there and he says, okay, it's no TV time. And that's it. There's no argument. There's no wahala. We all accept it because we know. A time will come that the children have memorized the consequences so much that when you say, go check your consequences, oh, no, I know the consequence for this one, and it is this. But more than anything, the natural consequences are much more important. Now, what are natural consequences? Natural consequences are getting the children to do the things that they're supposed to do anyway. Now, you cannot achieve natural consequences or any reasonable consequence without going through a process of teaching. So before you demand or you ask of anything of a child, be sure that you have taught them or you have skilled them in that thing. So there is nothing that is beyond teaching in parenting. As they enter your mind, create a curriculum, create a process create a system that will help you teach that thing systematically, especially if you're a parent of a toddler. Everything that comes up, be systematic, be strategic as a parent, be systematic as a parent. For everything, every gap that you see in your child, or every gap that you can put yourself in a place where you can actually preempt it, think about it before time. Think about the kind of things that your usual 5-year-old, your 10-year-olds, your 12-year-olds could get into. Think about these things. Now, simulate or role play how it is that they should go about it. We're doing this a lot with the Mastermind children right now. So in the Mastermind this month, we are working on etiquette, social graces, and social intelligence. So we're teaching the children how to be perfect gentlemen and ladies. It's not every time that we're talking about emotions, we're talking about very serious things. Sometimes it begins with the really basic things. Our children knowing how to do basic things, how to comport themselves, how to carry themselves, how to speak, how to be, how to embody the Christ-like nature, how to embody the mastermind that they are, how to embody the gentlemen and women that we are raising them to be, how to embody the leaders that we're raising them to be. And so what we're doing throughout, this month is a lot of role play. So today, what are they even role playing today? Today they are role playing. What are they role playing? I can't even remember what they are role playing today. Okay, today they are role playing meeting in, I can't remember. Anyway, but basically we role play things like beating people, having three-layer conversations. Good morning, ma'am. How are you doing today? Your mother's friend comes to the house. Good morning, Mrs. This. Good morning, Andre's mother. Good morning, whatever, respectfully. Good morning, Andre's mom. Good morning, Mrs. Ojo. How are you doing today? Let your children be able to hold grown-ups to conversations. How are you doing today? Oh, I'm fine, thank you. And you? Oh, I'm doing great. Could you sit down? Would you like me to get my mommy? Or could you sit down, ma'am? I will go get my mom. Would you like a glass of water? Let your children know how to talk. Let your children know how to welcome people. Let your children learn gratitude. Let them learn all of these things. Very, very key. All right? So, we're doing all of these things because we understand the place of this knowledge. If you have not taught, you cannot come and say, look at you. Did you greet? Did you greet? What process have you gotten your child through when it comes to greeting? If you walk into my home, my 8-year-old, she's 9 now. My 9-year-old daughter, even when she was 6, will welcome you and say, please sit down, I will get my mommy. And she's getting mommy, and she comes back and she asks you, would you like a glass of water? Since she's been doing that since she was 5, 6. So you cannot come and say, did you greet? Have you told the child? Don't assume anything. Okay, and let not our children let them not operate from a mediocre point. Let them not operate from, you know, the simple things that everybody does. That is why you are intentional as a parent. That is why you are raising a mastermind. Make sure that everything is extra. Let your children stand out everywhere they find themselves. So you must teach for you to give natural consequences. So you must teach. And in that teaching, you must model first. You must have the child do things with you. That's the process. You model first to the child. You do it together with the child. Modeling means you're doing it for the child to see. Doing it together means you are role playing it. Simulate situations and let's role play what you would do in those situations. You are role playing it. Then you are having the child do it by creating experiences. You are a curator, you're a parent too. You are a curator, you are intentional, you are creative, you are your head is like this, you are strategic. I said that before. Now you will curate experiences, situations where your child gets a chance to do these things. So you will simply go and visit somebody simply because you want to create that experience. You will simply go to the park so that the child gets a chance to experiment what you have been learning. That's why we say, even when your children go to boarding school is not where they go and learn independence. Boarding school is where they go and actualize what you have simulated. All of the what you call it, say I said this was going to be short. Oh my goodness, I'm going to stop. We're going to end in the next 2 minutes. Okay, where they go and they actually shine and they actually manifest all of the independence that you have taught them, all of the executive functioning skills that you have developed over the years, all of the honor that you have taught them, all of the spiritual intelligence, cultural intelligence, all of these things that you have done with your child over the years. Boarding school is your launch plan. Boarding school is your manifestation ground. So they go there and you launch them out, and then they go and they exhibit this. The feedback you get is your report card. It is that feedback that lets you know whether the job has been done or whether there are still loopholes or whether there are still gaps. And immediately you find the gap. It's not for you to go and say, oh, they are disgracing us. No, that's the time that when they come on holiday, you fill those gaps. I like the way the parents who have their boarding school children in the mastermind do it, right? The children are in school. They're not with us. As soon as they come in during the holiday, we connect. And then the children begin to feel, we begin to feel those things that the children have missed or those things that are missing. Give us feedback. What are the things they are struggling with? Let's fill in those space. Very, very key in your parenting journey. All right. So now when you do this, the children are now exhibiting and all of that. Now you can make demands of them. All right. You can make demands of them. Now that demand requires that you give them instructions, requires that you give them opportunity to take initiatives on their own, that you give them opportunity to exhibit their response ability. So sometimes you want to go without instructions and then come back and see how your children have been able to manage themselves on their own. If they did not, you don't start shouting and fighting. It means that that skill is not locked in yet. So it means that we go back to the drawing board. Other times you give them instructions and you go because you want to understand if your children understand the place of instruction. So that's why even in the mastermind, we have instructions. We have where we allow the children exhibit their own ability by showing their own skill and figuring out how to go about things on their own. Then we have the instructions. Each of them is important. Your child doing a report at the end of the day is instruction. Your children need to learn how to follow instructions. They are the ones that the children have to do on their own and report. And when they report, I'm like, oh, awesome. I see that you did this, did this. It must have taken you a lot of work, and you should be proud of yourself. We give them this feedback. See, if your child is not in the mastermind circle, you have a child who is 5 years and 8 months by September, and the child is not in the mastermind circle. You have a child between that age and 14. This is the time. Register your children in the mastermind. That's what I can say to you. Because the mastermind is a foundation ground. We build the children with consistency, accountability, and the accountability is this close for a reason. Our accountability is this close for a reason, because we understand that during this phase of the children's life, what they need is consistency, close accountability, and someone who is that present. As they get older, they can go into bigger systems that we do and all of that, where they can manifest even more. But this foundation is very, very key. All right. So you have children this young, you want to bring them to the mastermind. Let's help you. Let's work with you. Let's collaborate with you and partner with you to build a solid foundation for them. Okay. So when the child does not do what the child is supposed to do, you come back. Oh, you didn't do this. It's okay. You get to it right now. You pour water on the floor. It's simple. I'm sorry, mom. Okay, it's okay. Just get a mop and mop it. So that's a natural consequence. You have done it like that. It's not a problem at all. Mistakes are acceptable. Failure is acceptable. What are you going to do about it? Ask those questions. Have those conversations. So what are you going to do about it now? I'm going to clean it. Oh, it needs to be cleaned. All right. So who's going to clean it? Me, mama. Get your mop and clean it. So for everything from mopping to fixing their lives to losing an exam to failing, everything is simple. How do you want me to help you? Okay, I'm going to support you, but you're going to fix your problem by yourself. So these are natural consequences, and it is the best way of discipline. Thank you very much for being a part of today's show. I do not take it for granted that you are here. If you have a friend that should catch a replay of this, why don't you share the link with them, or tag them on this on Facebook, or share the link on YouTube so that they can catch a replay of this. If you should have your child in the mastermind. You have 5 months and 5 years and 7 months right now, 6 months right now, meaning in September there will be about 8 months, and in December, if they are going to be 5 in January, if you have a child that will be 6 years old in January, then the child can come and be with us in the mastermind circle. When you have children between 6 and 14, this is the place for you. Why don't you go ahead and screen grab the information that you need to book a slot? We have limited slots this year. As I said, the mastermind is close-knit, and we can't take beyond a number, because for us, our vision is foundation. So we can't take beyond a number. All right. So you need to book a slot right now before you come and we say we're close for this year, because if not, it's going to be till September 2025. So book your slot today and get ready for September 1st, pay instrumentally till that time where you can start the program with us. And yes, for parents who have children who are book lovers, or children who are not ready to read books yet, they are still fighting books, we have an amazing, the most fun summer activity book challenge that you can think of online. It's the most fun thing you can imagine. You need to register your child right now. Children between 0 and 13 can be a part of that, book. Can be a part of the summer fun activity book challenge. All right, it's 100% online, but you cannot begin to imagine it. It's so much fun. Ask the parents that have been here. We will do an activity every day. We will read every day, joyfully so. I tell you, this is the reading challenge that moves children from 0 readers to book lovers. All right, the activities are a motivation for children to read, and usually we get it right all the time. All right, and this year comes with a lot of drama, Tales by Moonlight, grandpa's stories. This comes with a lot of cooking, all of that, outdoor picnics, and all of that. So we're going to have an exciting time. All right, so use the link at the end of this video to click and join the wait list, where you can get the best offer on the 15th, is it, when we open up, payments for that. It's usually shinkini money, meat pie money, usually. That's what you use to enroll for this program. Have a fantastic week ahead and a blessed day. Thank you for joining me. I do not take this for granted. I have a daughter that will be 5 in January. Oh, 5 is still young. She might get lost in the mastermind. Okay, 5 in January will get lost in the mastermind. We do serious things, serious, nice, fun things. Anyway, how long is the mastermind? It's a whole year. It's a whole year program. All right, do it together. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much, everyone. Bye.